Welcome to day 8 review of the Tiny account, and today is one of those days that I don't like recording a review. I don't, as you can see, it speaks for itself, okay? This was a massacre, a massacre. That's why I don't like recording this. But I promise myself I will have to do, whether we are in the red like today or we are in the green like yesterday. Okay, so welcome. So this is what I traded today. I traded this stock walk WOK 726, bought at 468, then sold at 820 for 498 for 30 cents. I had 35 only, so well, it was $8. Then at night, when the market opened at 9:40, I thought the market was gonna go up, but as it turned out, it came down, and then later on it went up, but not even up to the level where I was when I bought this. So I bought the first call at 9:42, and then 2 minutes later I bought the next one at 49 cents. I added down, as you can. We'll talk about it. Okay. So well, let's start with the stock. So this is the stock walk. WOK. It's a Chinese medical stock, and being Chinese, I am normally afraid of them because they normally involve themselves in this thing called pump and dump. Pump and dump is where you say something positive about the stock, and then it goes up, and then you dump your shares, and then everything falls down. As you can see, of course, it went up all the way to $6, and then after the market opened, it just came down and down and down. At one point, it was only 80 cents from $6. That is really huge. And that's the problem with Chinese stocks. So I was careful not to, I wanted to be careful not to hold for too long. So let's see. So it started going up at 5:15, and then I saw it probably after 7. Yeah, probably. I think it was around here when I saw it. Let me see. Uh, 5 minutes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I saw it around 7 or 5 or something like that. They'd already made this retracement and gone up. So if you check here, so 705 is here. So it had made this retracement. So I think I came here, so looked at the lowest point here and did this. And so for me, this is 725. Yeah. So for me, the 61.8% retracement was around 463. Okay. I want to see if I can make it bigger, this one. Come on, yeah. Okay, there you go. So if you look, 463 around here was the 61.8% retracement of this move here. So I said, okay, if you look, the MACD was still showing positive movement up. The volume, most of it was green at that time. And then the TTM squeeze was also showing positive uh, green movement. So it was showing that the stock was going up. Okay, so well, around here at 726, I entered when I saw buying. And then it did probably go up only a little and then started coming down. And that was when I made my first mistake because if you look, So let's put 1 minute and see. Too big. Okay. So here, 1 minute for, you know what, I think I have a better chart. Okay, so this is 1 minute, 720. Yeah, so when it touched the 61.8% retracement, it went down a little bit and then it jumped. As it jumped, of course, I am trying to jump in. Uh, so bought it 468 here. By the time I'm buying it, it was 468 from 463. So 5 cents more than the 61.8% retracement. Then it went up a little bit to 470 and then it came down even lower than here. And that should have been one warning that, look, why is it going down below the lowest here? But then it started going up again, giving me more hope. Then it slumped down and even slumped down lower than even this one. And it was forming. So, of course, the trend was now beginning to look bad. Okay, there you go. And then, but then it, from here, it went up and up and up and up to 479. At which point I probably had maybe $2, $3, $5 profit, and I didn't take it, even though I had seen this. And that was where I made my first mistake. Then after here, it slumped big time, pow, all the way. And then I held, which is totally wrong. This should have been this should have been at least 453, should have been at least where I cut it off. Uh, but, or even here, this candle here, 463 here. I shouldn't have cut it off here. But I shouldn't have taken it off here. Shouldn't have taken it off here. Shouldn't have taken it off here, somewhere here. I didn't. Okay, and that is the problem. So then it came here, which was VWAP, around VWAP. VWAP was around here. So then I said, okay, it's finding acceptance at VWAP. So I stayed, 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 stayed up to here. The moment it crossed over here, I was seeing like this was a target. This was my original target, around 503. Okay, so it went, hit 509, and I'm like, ooh, it looks very strong. Then they slumped it down. As it came down, I just sold it somewhere here, 498. Okay, and then only for it, of course, to go, just like usual, for it, for it to go up to 537. And then later on, when the market opened, it went all the way to $6. Yeah, yeah. So the I if I had taken off the trade here and lost maybe $5, $6, I would have been much happier with myself than holding it here and getting my $8 profit. Why? Because this is a habit that can build and become dangerous when you hold against your, you know, against your judgment, against your rules. The rules say that, I mean, you cut it off when it did come down here. In fact, this is the place where I first should have cut it off. But I would have seen, like, the moment it came down here, probably I would have been cutting it off around break even or maybe $3 or something in the loss here. and that's just good trading. Yeah, so yeah, but holding it when it's against you, and then holding it throughout all this, throughout all this, throughout all this. I got something at the end, but that is bad trading. I would rather I take a small loss here than a profit here when I have done bad trading. Because if you do this, the next time you do it, it can ruin your account. And in the next trades, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. So for the next one, the SPY, as always, I normally do my analysis on the ES, which is the futures for the S&P 500, and the SPY is the ETF for the S&P 500. So they follow, they go hand in hand. So yeah, so this is the years. If you look at the years at different time frames, uh, obviously this is bullish. Okay, this is bullish because you have. It seems like it's forming. I mean, it was bullish. If you looked at the last candle here, which was the day before yesterday and yesterday, they are both going up. But then today seems like it did want to create what is it? Uh, Nevertheless, this is bullish because you see lower high, I mean higher low, you know. You look at here, 4 hours, it's also bullish. You look at this one, it's bullish too. You have this higher high, higher high, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. Okay, on the 15 minutes, probably there is a little bit of an issue here. This is showing a little bit of a decline. The same with the 5 minutes. 1 minute for now, of course, is showing long, but in the morning it wasn't clear. The direction wasn't very clear. If you look, so if we go back to the 5 minutes, uh, let's go back to the 5 minutes. Yes. Okay, so I have the levels here. Uh, what levels are these? Analysis 6. Okay, so you can see the red one here is overnight high, and then this is where it opened. It opened 61.48. Overnight high was 61.59, and then the overnight low was 61.41. When it does open near the low, 61.41 to 61.48, um, compared to the overnight high and overnight low, that's actually more towards overnight low. So I was thinking, okay, maybe it's gonna be a bullish event because why? It opened near the overnight low, and if it does come down to overnight low, then maybe we will be going up. That's my thought at that time. Of course, we can analyze later. If we go to 15 minutes, we could analyze and probably find out that maybe this was wrong for me to think so. But nevertheless, that's what I thought, okay? I thought this was gonna be long. So what did I do? So the moment it came down and then came below overnight, did I enter here? Let me see on the 1 minute. What time did I enter this? I entered at 9:42. Let me see, 9:42. Ooh. Okay, okay. I didn't even wait for it to touch overnight low. Yeah, so the analysis was also a problem today. The analysis was a problem because if I looked at here, the entries, yeah, the analysis was also a big problem today. So there you go, 942 is somewhere here. Yeah, somewhere here. Okay. Yeah, I needed to wait. Whenever it forms a range like this, a very narrow range, you truly need to wait to see what is happening. Number one. Number two, VWAP here. This yellow line here, VWAP here. Uh, so it opened at 9:30 here. Okay, just a little bit above VWAP, and then it came down below VWAP, and then it rushed back to VWAP, and that is when I entered. No, then it came down. Okay, then it came down to overnight low and pushed below overnight low. Then the moment I saw buying below overnight low, I jumped in. I jumped in, and then of course, uh, okay, sorry guys, 942. Okay, 942. By the time I bought, yeah, this is the problem that I saw. So overnight low was below here. And then I entered up here actually. That didn't come down to, I was looking at the 5 minute. Now I'm looking at the 1 minute, and it's showing me clearly that I entered this trade 942 here when I saw this buying over here. Looking back at it, this was a terrible issue because first of all, it hasn't crossed VWAP. It hasn't retraced back to VWAP and shown me buying. Because when I trade around VWAP, what I normally do is I wait for the stock to cross VWAP, close above VWAP, retrace back to VWAP, and show me buying. And I want all these things to agree, everything here to agree. But let's look at it here. So 942, there was some buying, but then it never closed above VWAP. It just started VWAP, and then they started selling and selling and selling. Okay, when it touched the overnight low, there wasn't any buying at this moment. In fact, if I looked here at the volume, the red volume was increasing from here 943. The red volume was increasing all the way up to 945 before some little buying, and then they retraced to overnight low. It wasn't a big retrace. It didn't even touch overnight low before they slammed it back again. And then a small retracement over here. And then an inverted hammer, which shows uh, that the shorts are really selling. And then a doji here, and a hammer here, which shows bullishness. But then that hammer is followed by a red candle and then more selling. So at this point here, this should have been a place where I say, you know what? It looks like these guys are selling, especially with the increase in volume. Look at the MACD. MACD is saying we are going down. And then the TTM squeeze, all these reds are saying we are going down. But then what did I do? I added another call here. I had bought the first one at 63. Now I'm buying another one at 49 cents. And that was double problem. Yeah. And then what did I do? When all this thing is happening, what did I do? I held. So I told you in the first trade that holding against your plan is wrong. So holding here when it's going against me was wrong. Anytime I see this small buying, I'm like, oh yeah, 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 they are buying now. And yet, if you look through here, through all this, look at this red volume over here. It is way bigger than the green volume. Okay, yeah. I held through here. I held through here, and then of course, by the time the stock came up, it finally came up, or much later on. But by the time it came up, of course, the options had evaporated. Why? Because they are zero DT. Zero DT options, they evaporate. They because of very, very high theta, they just dissolve and dissolve and dissolve. It's like an ice cream that is very close to the sun. Why? It's very close to the sun because the expiration is today. So yeah, yeah, that's what happened. Of course, it was the moment it didn't cross above VWAP, and then any touch to VWAP they were selling it was a sign that the shorts were on the parade. And here, the moment it also crossed below overnight low, retraced to overnight low. The retrace to overnight low was not bought, but it was sold. That was a sign that the shorts were way better. So this is a place I could have bought a put, and I would have been smiling big time because the move from here, 61.39 to 61.02, in terms of SPY, is up to 400 move. But of course, I was in the opposite direction. Yeah, and 6102 is close to 6100, which is a whole number. And what happens with ES, the 50 number, 6150, 6100, 6050, those numbers are those whole numbers, half century and century numbers. They are psychological numbers that where people respond. You can see here, this one is 6150, around 6150, and there was a lot of response around there, and the response was to sell. Obviously, they didn't know that some people were buying like me. Mhm. Okay, so that is what happened. At least I've talked about why I made that mistake, what I could have done differently. Yeah, so for now, as you can see, we managed to demolish 63% of the account. Now we are only remaining with this, and it's very, very unlikely that this will go up. So maybe we'll just use this as sort of a few, you know, sort of like just like practice money, I guess. So we can use this as practice money for the next time. We'll see if I get time tomorrow what I can do. Hopefully, maybe I could even go live if you guys are interested in listening live. Then we can all make you can see how, yeah, hopefully, with today's rookie mistakes, we can see if we can pivot away from these rookie mistakes over here. Okay, have a good one and come back for more.